Dun, 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 dun. All right, all right. What are we doing? What are we doing? We are going to be talking about the abacus. We're going to be talking about new math. This is new math. This is not new math. This is old math. This is abacus math. What are we doing? We are going to be counting on the abacus. Just making sure that my microphone works. So we have one, we have one, we have two, we have three, we have four. Oh no! And then we have five, and then we have six, seven, eight, and then nine. And then after 9, we have 10. So what we're doing is we're counting on the abacus. When we count on the abacus, what we need to do is we need to understand that all these beads have a value of 1. All these beads have a value 1. When the beads are touching this horizontal bar means that we are counting. So if you notice, these beads, right, these beads are no longer touching, are not touching the horizontal bar. Because these beads are not touching the horizontal bar, we have our beads. So these beads are not touching the horizontal bar. This is 5, this is 5, this is 5. So what we're doing is we're counting on the abacus. When we count on the abacus, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 5. Notice our value is 5. So after 5, we have 6. How do I know? Because now these beads are touching the horizontal bar. This is the horizontal bar that we are counting. And so when we look, this is 5, and then this is 6. So all the top bead has a value of 5. All the bottom beads has a value of 1. So when we look, we have 1, right, 2, 3, and then 4. But this is 5 because the top bead will have a value of 5. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So what we're talking about is this abacus, and I'm going to call it new math. Anyways, okay, sorry. So we have 5 and then 6, 7, right? How do I know? Because these beads are touching this horizontal bar. This horizontal bar tells me that these beads are being counted. So if you notice, these columns are not counted because none of these beads are touching these columns. But this crazy thing is now 8. So after 8, we have 9. After 9, we have 10. Well, how do I know that this is 10? Well, I know this is 10 just as we write. We have 1 and 0. That's how we write 10. So just as we write 10, we have 1 and 0. So if I look and I wrote 10. So we have 10. If you notice, I have my 1s, which is my 10, right? My 1 is my 10s, and then 0. So that's 10. So when I look, this is 20, 30, 40, and then 50. So all the top bead has a value of 5. The top bead has a value of 5, and so now we're at 60. How do I know? Because I choose this dot as my 1s place. So you have 1s, 10s, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. We have 61, 62, 63, 64. So what we're doing is we're counting on the abacus. When you understand how to read the abacus, we can start going into more math, which is adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division, which is interesting because we can go into understanding how we do multiplication and division. So, but the first thing we're going to do is we need to understand how to read the abacus. When we read the abacus, we understand that okay, I'm sorry. We will understand that these beads are being counted. These counted beads mean that they're touching the horizontal bar. This horizontal bar tells me that these beads are being counted. So these ones on these columns are not being counted. So when we look, this is 60, 64, 65. So this is 5. How do I know this is 65? Well, the top bead, the blue bead, the bead that's on top of the horizontal bar, this is a value of 5. Because this is a value of 5, now we know we have 65 because we have 55, 65. When we add the 1, that's 65. Anybody have any questions? Hey, May. Hi, Alicia. And Diana. That's the only people. I only see like 3 people on my list. But I see that there's more people. Thank you for the hearts. Oh, N2D Fire. Jamie. So, anybody have any questions? What we're going to do is we're going to continue on learning how to count. So if I have this, and I talked about how this is my 1s, my 10s, my hundreds, what number does this mean? Susanna, aka Zena, what do the colors mean? The colors mean nothing, actually. It's the beads and the columns. So, I mean, I could change my abacus. I can change my abacus to a brown, and then this brown is the same thing. It just happens to be the location, and it works the same as the colored beads. Yeah, right? So the colored beads is just pretty to look at, right? Just pretty to look at. So when we do 5, this is 5. So I'm going to I'm going to do a 1-to-1. So if this is 5, this is 5. So when we have the top bead is a value of 5. The bottom bead has a value of 1. So, okay, then there are 9 columns. There's 9 columns. Oh, yes. So when we look at it, you're absolutely right. This will be 9 because we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When we squish all of the beads into one column, that's 9. Thank you so much for coming, Susanna. I don't feel so alone. All right. So now the reason why we would have the 2 is because maybe the colorful ones is too overwhelming. So then we have the brown one. But the colorful one is easier to show because we're on the video. So I'm going to go back to my colorful one. But yeah, and then if you notice, if we want to do 10, we do this. Just like how we write. Oh, you've always wanted to learn this? Fantastic. I am here to teach. So we have our 10s. How do I know that this is the 10s? Well, we are going to pick this indicator. This indicator, if you see, it's a dot. This dot indicator tells me that I'm going to use this as my ones place. Because I have my ones, this is my 10s, this is my hundreds, this is my thousands, and then this is my 10,000. If that makes sense. Hey, Danny, trading, welcome. So when we're reading the abacus, the first thing we got to do is we got to understand how to read the abacus. After we learn how to read the abacus, we will go into understanding how to do some adding and subtracting. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to know that this is what number. Anybody? Oh, thank you so much, Susanna. I love abacus too. So what number do you think this is? If we talked about this is the ones, this is the 10s, this is the hundreds, what number is this? 15. Yes. Thank you, Daryl. It is 15. How do I know? Because the top bead is 5 and the bottom bead is 1. So when we do it, when we put it together, we have 15 because we have 1 and we have 5. And then we have 16, 17, 18, and 19. Thank you so much for the comment. Thank you so much for the comment in the hearts. Wow, I'm already at 1,000 hearts. This is cool. Thank you. I think it's cool too. I really enjoy talking about abacus. So what are we talking about now? This is 19. 19. So what's after 19? Well, after 19 is 20. I know how to count. Do you know how to count? I know how to count. But look at it. Now we have our tens place. So we have 20, 30, 40. Oh, use the arrow 404. Yes, you're absolutely right. The ones on the left, no, the ones on the right, because it should not be mirrored, right? The ones on the right, yeah. So the ones on the right is the decimals. So when we look, this is 40, and then we could say 25, 0.25. Exactly. Thank you so much. We don't have sleepers in the class. All right. So just like we have like 10.5. That would be 10.5. Then we have 10.6. We can keep going. We have 60.60. I'm sorry, 6. And then, but don't forget, just like we have cents, we have money, we can do 1 penny, 2 pennies, 3 pennies, 4 pennies, and then 5 pennies. Why? Because we have the 0. So because we have the 0, hey RS, welcome. Oh my God, you're back on my FYP again. Yo, right, I'm still here. No, I never left. No, I never left. No, I left. I took a little break. And then I started realizing how abacus is new math. Let me think about that one. Let's marinate on how is abacus new math. When we start doing multiplication, I'll show you what new math is and I'll show you what abacus math is. They're the same. So what we did is we just did full circle. New math. How is all abacus work? Is this how all abacus work? This is how this abacus work. They kind of are similar to the Chinese abacus. It kind of works the same, but then there's the different one where there's a 10 bead, and I don't have a picture of a 10 bead, but there's a 10 bead one, and the 10 bead one is like this, and that works very differently than what we have here. So here we still have the top bead, and all these top beads are still the value of 5, just like all of these are the value of 5. So these blue beads are the value of 5. So this is 5, these are 5. But the problem is in the abacus, Chinese abacus, this is 10. But on the Japanese abacus, that's 10. And this will always be 10 and only be 10. Why? Because we're looking this as a place value. When we look at the place value, we know that this is 10. It's like That's how we write 10. But in the Chinese abacus, it kind of goes a little loopy. That can be 10. This can be 10 because it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Because this is 5 plus 5 is 10. Or we could do this as 10 for the Chinese abacus. But the Chinese abacus is a little bit confusing, so I don't really teach on the Chinese abacus. What I do teach is on the Japanese abacus because the Japanese abacus makes it efficient. Japanese make everything efficient. So the first thing we did is we understand how to read the abacus. Ooh, is 1 the Chinese? And you're right. You're right. Imelda, you're right. 1 is the Japanese abacus and 1 is the Chinese abacus. This is the Japanese abacus, and then this one is the Chinese abacus. And then how do I know the difference? Well, the Chinese abacus has 2 beads on top and 5 beads on the bottom. The Japanese made it efficient because that's what Japanese people do, is they make everything efficient. So we have 1 bead on top and 4 beads on the bottom. But because we have 4 beads on the bottom, hey Chris, you're back. And because we have 4 beads on the bottom, we will be using this thing called formulas. In abacus, we actually use formulas. Why do we use formulas? We use formulas when we do adding, subtracting, and when we do adding and subtracting. Yes. Hi. So we're talking about the abacus, right? We all know we're talking about the abacus, and we're talking about how to read the abacus. So thank you so much for liking my live. Okay, so we're talking about how to count. All of this beads is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this is 4, it's touching the horizontal bar. When it touches the horizontal bar, then we know that these beads are being counted. Now, why am I here and not here? Well, I just chose the indicator because, hey, 8, welcome back. 8, welcome back. I just discovered what new math is, and I think you're going to like it. And you can introduce abacus as new math. I'm so excited. Because I'm like, this is crazy. So, okay, it's good, right? It's new math is abacus math. I said it here. And if anybody says anything elsewise, I'm telling you right now, new math is abacus math. My kids new math every day. It's stressful. No, Susanna, you will understand abacus and it won't be stressful anymore. You know why? Because this is new math. Even though abacus has been around for like ever. It's been around forever. But I'm telling you, okay, I'm going to start. Have you never been good at math? I'm surprised. I'm watching. I'm intrigued. Yeah. Not this, her math. Oh no, I understand. The new math is actually abacus math. It's coming full circle. It's crazy. So I was actually doing research and I was like, what is this new math and why are we doing this? So in the way they do math, like they do multiplication. So yeah, no, hang with me. Okay, you know what? Okay, you know what? I'm so excited. Whew. Let's talk about how to read the abacus. We understand how to read the abacus. We're good about that? So if my question is my number, so let's do a number. I have a number, this number. What number is this? Let's do a little bit of this. Before we go into like new math, let's figure out this. I'm a learn invest. Yeah, right? So what number is this? What number do we have? If this is my ones, my tens, my hundreds, and my thousands, what number do I see here? Now, I want to take it slow because I don't want to move it too fast. Daryl, almost, because we have our 2,500. Oh, there's Deej. 500, we got the 5, right? And then 7, we have 5, 6, 7, and then another 5. Oh, Amelia, no, what we're going to do is this is my ones. Yeah, this is my ones. So that means we have decimals. So if I did decimals, this would have been 15. 5.15. Yeah, right? So now we have decimals. Oh, somebody was asking about if this is base 5. It's not base 5. This is still base 10. So what we're doing is we're learning how to read the abacus while we are understanding the columns and the place values. The columns and the place values are already on the abacus. This is crazy. I love it. Oh, this is awesome. I love it too. I'm so happy people are enjoying it. So let's do the question. Let me go back to a question. I wanted to go back to this number. And I can't believe I've used up all this words. Okay, okay, okay. So like this, right? Like this. Oh, no, that's too high. Okay, so like this. We have 6,000. We have 6,000. So I'm going to do 6,000. We have 6,000, right? 5, 6, and then 4. Thank you for the follow. We have 400. 0, 3. And then after that, we have our decimal. This is the decimal. The decimal, and we have 9. 9, 0. Make sense? Shoot! I fear I joined too late. I need to know it literally square one. We are still in square one, Miss International Delight. That's a very big name. No, we're still doing it. We are still reading the abacus. That's still the beginning. The beginning is building it, but I didn't build it. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Yeah, right, Yasmin? Right? It's super simple, easy to understand. So we have 4. We have this horizontal bar. When we have the horizontal bar, it helps having the math behind it. Yeah, it helps having the numbers because looking at this, yeah, I'm starting to be more obvious when I do certain things. And that's when we're going to start doing new math. When we do new math, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you. So we have 4. We have 4. Because I have the horizontal bar, I want to know where 5 is. Because I only have 4, I have 5. 5 will always be the top bead. 5 is the top bead, and then 6. So we have 5 and 6. Anytime the beads are touching the horizontal bar, we're counting it. So when we count it, so if the beads are not touching the bar, not sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You don't count it. Correct. Or it's considered 0, right? So in this scenario, we have 6,400, 0, because we still have 0, and then 3. So if we had that, the horizontal bar, you're absolutely right. Oh my God, you're live again. Yeah, Abacus fun. I'm over. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. You're absolutely right. Horizontal bar, in Abacus world, we also call it a beam. We have different verbiage. We have different vocabulary for abacus, but I'm here to bridge the gap. I'm here to bridge the gap and popularize abacus because I think it's the greatest thing next to Betty White. Anybody know who Betty White is? Oh, I love her. She's so funny. So we have 6, 4, 0, 3. Chris says, what is the count if 2 is in the green bar? Let's see that. If we do that, what number does that look like? That number looks like 1 and 1. 1 and 1 looks like 11. Was an actress. Yeah. Yeah. She's also a comedian too. Oh my gosh. I would learn this. Yeah, right? Yeah, Betty White. God rest her soul. Okay. So 1 and 1. Green and green. Yellow and yellow, right? 2 yellow, 1 green, 1. This is 2 and 2. What's 2 and 2? 22. Easy, right? Yeah, right? I am cool. You are cool. You're cool because what we're learning the abacus. Whoop, I meant I would love to learn this. Yeah, I understand. Okay, so thank you, Trey, for the tiny dinosaur. Okay, so what are we doing? Let's continue to count because I don't want to go too far ahead because we can do adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Yeah, thank you for the follow. So will the colors come into play or they just help indicate the rule? The colors do not come in play. If it's too overwhelming, you can use this, which is the single color. Happy Pi Day. Happy Pi Day. Thank you, Kevin Thomas. Happy Pi Day to you too. The top bead will always be 5 no matter what. So if I did this, all of these is counted. Whoa. And this one is counted. So this is 5 and then 6. So 5.6 because if I deem this as my ones, then I have my 5 and then I have a 0.6. So when I clear it, it works the same. I have my indicator. My indicator is my ones. Just have my indicator over here. I have my ones. But the only reason why I have it colorful is because, for young kids, they enjoy the colors. Or if I'm teaching online and I want the kids to move the beads, I have them say, okay, well, move the green bead. And what number is that? That number is 1. It's different if I'm on the internet and I say, move the brown bead. And I'm like, which one's the brown bead? So 1 and 1, they work exactly the same. The top bead is still its top bead is still a value of 5. The top bead is still the value of 5, and it still touches the horizontal bar. Do you indicate where you're having your decimal placement, or is it always 2 from the right? There's an indicator, and that's what this is. There's a dot. I don't know if you could see. These dots are the indicators. They also signify our grouping. So if we said that this is our ones, we can do ones, our thousands, and then our millions, just as we do commas. So we have our ones, right? So if this is 3, 0, 4, and then 6. Notice my 6 has a 6,000. It's nice to be able to have it labeled so you can see quickly that this is the thousands. If you want, you could start here. We could do 3, 0, 4, 6. Again, it's still ones, thousands, millions, billions, and then trillions. So, will an abacus always have an indicator, or do you mark it yourself? Now they should have the indicators. Some of the indicators is like this, where it's like this, single color, and the beads are a different color. So this would be like a red bead, and this would be a red bead. That's also an indicator. I don't have that specific type, but there are different types. There's usually indicators. It just depends on what it looks like, but they all function the same. So I have my ones. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have my 5. So because I have 5, I have 6, 7, 8, and 9. All the beads, when they're touching in the one column, when they're all squished like this is 9. And then after 9 is 10, just as we write 1 and 0. So now, what I did was, I had a thing where it doesn't matter where you put where you have a 10, right? It doesn't matter where you put the 1. What does that mean? Well, if I put 10 here, right, I have 10 there. If I wrote 10 over here, I can have 10 over here. It's kind of the same thing, right? It doesn't really matter because it'll always be 0 and a 1. That's what it is. Can you do a simple math problem with it? Yeah, not a problem. Here's a simple math problem. This is gonna be easy because it's simple. But we can talk about it, and we can talk about how new math is. Ooh, hey JP, you're back. This is cool. All right, so in Abacus, just so you know, we do not focus on the result. What does that mean? We don't focus on the answer. What we focus on is the add-in. We focus on the add-in because we need to know what we're doing with the number. What are we doing with this number and why? So when we understand how to do adding, thank you for answering our questions and taking the time to teach us. Yeah, not a problem, Yasmin. I'm super happy that there's people commenting. So I'm not alone. So you're actually making me feel not alone in the world because I enjoy the comments. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand. Let's do this one, right? So what number, because it's a picture, what number do you think that is? Can I make it bigger? I'm going to try to make it bigger. So that's, okay, we'll try that. Let's try that. So if this number, what number is this? If I'm going to look at it, right, I have, what number is that? If I have the top bead, see, it's different because it's a picture. Because, thank you, Mr. Day All Day. Exactly. Hey, Izzy, welcome back. Yes, Sami and Lola. Okay, so 5, 6, 7. So we're 7. So after 7, we're going to add the 1. All we got to do is add the 1 bead. When we add the 1 bead, all we're doing is we're going to take this and we're going to add the 1. So then our answer is, hey, Alyssa, thank you. Yes, and then our answer is 8. Oh, I didn't write the 8, but you know what I mean. I'm going to write the number 8. So this is 8. How do I know? 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we look at the abacus, we just count it. 5, 6, 7, 8. Also, you'll be able to, when you look at the abacus more, you'll notice that when there's 1 bead here, you'll know that this is 8, right? You know that when all of them are together, this will be 9. Make sense? Yeah, we're okay? So we're going to continue on. I'm going to continue on because if we look, there's a sad face, but they followed my live. Okay, sorry. Whew. Okay, we're doing this. Okay, so we're back to here. And I'm always playing around with my camera because, oh, never mind, that's the wrong way. So just like here, we have 5. I'm going to use this one because I like the colors. So I'm going to use 5. When I add the 5, I'm so glad I caught your live again. Love learning. Thanks for being such a great teacher. Yeah, not a problem, Izzy. Thank you for attending and commenting. I do appreciate it. Hey, Bree. Oh, yeah. So we have 6. Right? No, we don't have 6. We have 1. So what we're doing is we're adding the 1. When we add the 1, we're just adding the 1 bead. That's all we're doing. We have to make sure that the beads are touching, right? The beads are touching the horizontal bar. When the beads are touching the horizontal bar, we know that we're counting. So what we're doing is this is called simple. What about multiplication? This is so awesome. Whoa. Oh, this is the bomb when we do multiplication. Okay, let's do multiplication. Are we ready for multiplication? Are we ready? Are we going to do it? Okay, we can do it. I mean, that was just simple adding. I mean, there's more adding, but if we're ready for multiplication, I'll do it. I'll do multiplication. Yo, yeah. Okay, Mr. Day. Woo, woo, whoa, guys. Whoa. Yeah, right. Whoa. But yeah, we can do multiplication. We can even do division. But with the multiplication, I can show you the new math. Oh my God. Are you ready? Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do some multiplication. Okay. I think I have a better way of writing this as well. Let's see. Let's see if my writing makes makes sense to you. Okay. Now, we are going to do, this is what we're calling, they call it new math. Sorry. Could you add a number over 5? Oh, yeah. So, Dylan, here we go. We do 2. Let's do 2. Let's do 2 plus 6. That would be easy. Why? That one would be difficult because we have to start using formulas. But this one, let's do this one. Plus 6. So we have 5 and then 6. And you bring it together like this. That's it. Yeah. So the reason why, I mean, we could go into more adding and subtracting, but like 6 plus 7 actually deals with formulas. And that would be a 2-step problem. So it's up to you. We could do that, but I think everybody's more interested in the multiplication. I can come back to this. We can come back to adding. You know what? Let's do some multiplication and we can come back to adding, because adding is still the fundamental. And when we understand the fundamental, we will see it. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this one. Oh, this one would be a good one. 34 times that by 7. We're going to go into new math. Why? Because it's actually not new math. It's abacus math. So what does that mean? Well, the first thing in abacus is we need to understand. I'm excited to see this. Yeah. The first thing we need to do in abacus is we need to understand where our answer is going to be on the abacus. No, don't be scared. This will be easy. I swear to you, it'll be easy. If you know how to read it, it'll be easy. So the first thing I do is I'm going to look at my digits. How many digits do I have? I have 1, 2, 3. So now I know I have 3 digits. If I have 3 digits, my answer will be somewhere around 3 digits. Ones, tens, hundreds. So I'm going to start at the hundreds. Does that make sense? The only thing I just did was I counted. So what does abacus do is abacus makes it into manageable chunks, just so you know. So manageable chunks. Now I know I'm going to start my answer on the hundreds column, right? So because I started on my here. Now, when we are in abacus, all we need to do is understand 7 times 3. That's all we need to do. Why? 7 times 3 is equal to 21. So I have 20 and I have 1. Here's new math. New math is 7 times 30 is equal to 210. What is the difference? The difference between new math and abacus, abacus helps you already with putting the place value. New math is writing it out. Got it? We're okay? So this is what we call new math. But on Abacus, we're just calling it multiplication. So what do we do? What do we do now? We just do this. 4 times 7. What's 4 times 7? 4 times 7 is equal to 28, right? 28. I'm going to add 2. I'm going to add my 20. Notice I add my 20 right over here. And then I add my 8. I add my 8. And that's it. That's it. New math, now we have to add it together. New math, we have to add these together. That's it. So what did we do? 210 plus 28. So the answer is 238. That's it. That's it. The difference between new math and Abacus math is that they're writing it out. So we don't need to do this because we did it on the Abacus. But like, what if I don't know what 4 times 7 is? You need to memorize that. That's a multiplication math fact that you need to memorize. I mean, you could do 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could do it this way, or you could do 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. You could do that. I got my kids to learn it this way, and then they got tired and they started memorizing their multiplication fact. How do I know? Hi, Ellis. How do I know which column to start? When we're counting, I'm choosing that this indicator that's here is my ones place. So when I look at it, I'm going to use this as my ones, my tens, my hundreds. Okay, so I got that. And then the question is, oh my goodness, I'm looking at questions. So what are the times table to have to practice to memorize? What are the times table to have you can practice memorizing? We only go up to 9. So we only go up to 9 times. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comments. We only go up to 9 times 9. We don't need to go anything higher than that because then it gets redundant. So in 32, I don't remember that, but I think this would be fun as we homeschool. Yes, this would be super fun because they can actually see what's going on. So my mind does 7, 7, 14. Yeah, that's because we were taught to memorize our doubles. Abacus, we don't need to memorize our doubles. Sorry, how did you know it was going to be at the hundreds? What if it's 22 times 66? Yeah, we could do that too. Let's do that. Let's do 22 times 6. I still know it's the hundreds because I'm counting 1, 2, 3. Even if it's 22 times 3, my ballpark is still 3. 1, 2, 3. It's the hundreds. Why? So what's going to happen is when I do this, 3 times 2 is equal to 6. I'm at the hundreds. 6 is a single digit. So what happens? I go back one column and I add 6. That's all I do. So because it's a single digit, if I look at it, I can translate this to a double digit, which would be a leading 0 like this. So with the last 2 rows, yes, exactly, the last 2 columns, because a row is going horizontal, columns are going up and down. So my last 2 columns would be the tenths and the hundredths, exactly. So can you do an example like 23 times that by 45? Yes. Oh, that makes sense. Thank you. I'm a math teacher. I've never seen Abacus math. Oh my God. What grade are you doing, Ellis? Because I know we're talking about new math, and this is actually considered new math. Because Abacus is new math. Okay, so Raul or Raul, I'm not sure. But we're going to do this. So what we're going to do, because I have a friend, his name, and he said it's spelled the same, but he calls himself Raul. So 4. I want to learn this for my kids. I teach high school math in the UK, 11 to 18. You could teach this considered new math. I don't know. It's up to you. High school maths, I don't do if you do. I don't know if you do arithmetics. If you do arithmetic, then I would totally do abacus. But if you don't do arithmetic, abacus doesn't do much. Anyways, so here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Raul, we start at the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We're starting at the thousands. So again, thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Dial. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 is a single digit. So I'm going to go back one column. A lot of kids are very weak in arithmetic. I think this may help. Oh, this would be beautiful. Yeah. So going back to here. Oh, you know what? I'm running out of room. 23 times 45. If you want to, you let me know. I'm actually building out a abacus for adults. 23 times that by 45. Yes, you're right. So, how do they do it in 1, 2, 3, 4? So we're going to do that. 2 times 4 in new math. What would they do? So they do in abacus we do 2 times 4 is equal to 8. 8 is a single digit, so I go back one column and I add my 8. Okay, we're done with that. So then what do they do in new math? They probably do 20 times 40 is equal to 80. No, 800. Right? So this is new math and this is abacus math. I'm trying to figure out how to make this better. So next one we do is 4 times 6. 4 times 3. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. Right? 3 times 4 is equal to 12. I add my 1, I add my 2. I add my 1, I add my 2. So this one would be what? 3 times 40 is equal to 120. So what I'm doing on the new math is just multiplying out. But see, on the abacus, we don't need to do that because it's already done for us. So we're done with the 4. We're done with the 4. Now we're going to reassess and figure out where our next place value is. So we have 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start from 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start the hundreds. Why? Because I'm done with the 4. I don't need to worry about it. I actually don't know how they do. Girl, you're confusing me. Girl, did you just come into my comment in the middle of my conversation? Because if you just kind of came in, you're going to have to wait a little bit. So we're doing 3 digits. 1, 2, 3. So when we do 3, our place value is 3. 1, 2, 3. We're at the hundreds. What? Yeah, right. So you can't be saying I'm confusing if you just kind of come into my conversation. Hold on a little bit. Let me do the multiplication and we'll go back. No problem. No problem. So we have 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what are we going to do is we're going to do 5 times 2. When we do 5 times 2, right? 5 times 2 is 10. This is where we're going to start doing some formulas. Now, notice we have not enough beads to add the 10. This is, yeah, girl, stay and watch. Yeah, Yasmin, right? We're going to go back and adding. It will be, yeah, it will make sense. It will make sense. I trust me, it will make sense. It's just right now we're going forward and then we got to go back. Okay. So, what is the problem here? The problem is I don't have enough beads to add the 10. So I got to take it a little bit slow because we kind of jumped over all of the adding. So what we need to do is we need to add the 1. When we add the 1, we're going to do plus the 1 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 9. This is a formula that we need to memorize. That's all it is. This is a formula that we need to memorize. What does this mean? I'm going to go to the 10. I need to plus the 10. I need to plus the 10 and then take away the 9. That's what it is. I plus the 10. This is so easy and it makes so much sense. The normal math. Normal math! Yeah, right. Okay. Plus the 10 and then minus the 9. So I'm taking away the 9. This is a formula that we need to memorize, right? This is the formula that we need to memorize. I said the same thing minutes ago and now I'm following along, right? Yeah, so easy. So we're done with the 2. I need to bring this down. We're done with the 2. So what are we doing now? What we're going to do, because I'm here, my 0. Don't forget the 0. That almost caught me. Because we did the 1, so it's a 10. 1 and 0. Never forget the 0. If it's a 0, remember there's a 0. So this is the 0. I move my finger to the next column because I have a 10. I'm adding 1 and I added 0. So that's the one thing, is to keep track of where your digits are. So our final digit is 5 times 3. 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. 15. What are we going to do? We add our 1 and then we add our 5. That's it. All right. So what is our answer? Let me know in the chat what our answer is. And oh, I didn't continue with the new math. But new math just starts talking about like, and then you add it all together. So I think it was 10. So we needed 10, right? 2 times 5 is equal to 10. And then 3 times 5 is equal to 15. And then you add it all together. So what is the number? Thank you, Dill. Is it dial? I think it's dial. 1,035. Exactly, right? So doing this is abacus math. Doing it this way is new math. But see, in new math, we write it out. But in abacus, we put it on the abacus. Abacus helps us put our place value. Makes sense, right, Mr. Day All Day? Thank you, Raul. Yeah, that was a really good question. That was a good question. It's kind of jumped us a little bit into adding into formulas because we didn't do formulas. So, Rosa, we're going to start counting. So what we're going to do is we're going to count on the abacus. We do 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. How do I know? Because all of these beads are touching this horizontal bar. When it touches the horizontal bar, we know that this is counted. Why not teach math like that throughout the district education? It's so simple, tell you, right? My goal is to try to get this into district math, but that will be far, 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 far from this. So the first thing we need to do is understand that this horizontal bar, my brain, see, you can't be complaining to me. That is confusing. My brain clicked right away. It's such an awesome way to, right? Come on, Rosa. I love it. Oh, a way to have a goal. Yeah, that's the thing. But the biggest thing is to understand how to talk like all the big people, right? How to talk like mathematicians. I don't talk like a mathematician. I just do abacus. But I'm trying to find different ways to do things. So going back to Rosa, just so you know, the top bead will always have a value of 5, no matter what. Now, why are we doing this? Why am I here? Because if you notice, then that's not a speck. That's a dot. This is my indicator. This indicator tells me this is my ones place. So I have my ones, my tens, my hundreds, and my thousands, and my 10,000. So when we look at the columns, these all have place values. Hi, Green Pill. So when I look, I can do 6. So 5, 6. All the beads together will be 9. All the beads together will be 9. And then we look, what is 10? 10 is 1 and 0. Never forget there's a 0. Why? Because I said that this is my ones. You could say this is 1, but then it gets confusing, right? But, so I would say keep the decimal, keep the indicator as your ones and your tens. So what's after ones is here. These columns to the right is my decimals. So when we write, we can do 10.25. So let's do it. Let's do 10.25. So we have 10.25. See how it writes? So the way we write it is the way we read it on the abacus. So I think the biggest thing is, my biggest hurdle is when people first see abacus, it's too much because it doesn't make sense. But then when I start explaining it, it makes a lot of sense. How's it going, Green Pill? So that is, I was about to relax. Hey, Marines, thank you so much for liking my live. Welcome, Marines. How are things? It's a little chilly, right? It's chilly out there. It's really cold here. Better now when you're live. Yeah, Green Pill, that's funny. You're so silly. All right, so what we're doing is we're just learning how to read the abacus. When we learn how to read the abacus, we can start going into adding and subtracting. So now what we're going to do is we can do some adding and subtracting, and then we can go into we can go into multiplication division. So the first thing we'll do, let's do this. Let's do some takeaway. Let's do some takeaway because we don't do enough. We do more adding. So like learning your doubles is only addition. There's no such thing as doubles minus, which is funny. Yes, I think that's where I was struggling to read it since I'm not able to look at the decimal. Right? Yeah. See, that's what it is. And I think that that's like, and I know that that's one of the things is because we think, I would assume you would know, but I cannot assume because I've been dealing with Abacus for 20 plus years. I cannot assume you should know because some people don't even know how. I mean, so it's not like I'm not saying it's a fault. I'm just saying that that's one of the hurdles I know that I have to go forward with. And so it's kind of like pushing a boulder up the hill. But as you see, it's really quite easy. And as we go through, you'll notice it's a lot easier because you can see it as opposed to the symbols. And so the difference is we push the children to recognize the symbols, but we don't push the children to use physical concrete things. We're going into showing pictures, but I think pictures are still a problem because it's not something they can it's not tactile. So I've been doing like a bunch of research on how other math teachers are teaching with pictures, which is fine, but it still doesn't make sense. Like say we have our number line. I have 2 and I want to add 3 or add 2, whatever. Add 2, right? So I have 1, 2 and then 3, 4. So we would still have to count, which is fine. But then it would also be easier to see if I have 2 and I want to add 2, I have that. But then let's say the questions get bigger, right? So we have, then how long is our number line going to be? Our number line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? We have 2. Let's do 2 plus 6. So what's going to happen? Okay, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Oh, that went off. 6. So you still count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in order to know where you're going. I don't see how the number line would help. But let's say I have 2. When we add the 6, I have the 5 bead and the 1 bead and I put it together. So what we're seeing here is a number pattern. We see patterns. This is how we add the 6. So here we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then we do that. Yeah, pattern recognition makes it easier. Yeah, pattern recognition does make it easier, especially if you could see it move. So one of the things, and that's why when we were adding here, the biggest thing was just to do simple. The reason why it's simple is because right now, this means that there's no formulas involved. So if I have my question, which is 7, and I take away 6, all I do is take away this 2 top beads. That's all I got to do. This is something I know, and it's just part of practice. Seeing it and practicing and understanding it. That's all it is. And the more we see it, the more we can understand. But don't forget, you can't be comparing, what I know because I've been doing this for 20 plus years, right? And I've been teaching it, which is different than watching. So with teaching and watching and building worksheets and building questions to be specific. Haha, Raul, I gotta buy one now. Yeah, you can buy one. But is it only for children? No, I don't believe it's only for children because just as Sudoku, is Sudoku for children? No, Sudoku is not for children, right? It's not only for children. Word searches are not for children. Abacus can be learned at any age. It just depends on if you're open to it. If you're open to it, then the sky's the limit, right? But I'm just letting you know. When I first learned Abacus, I was like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. And what happened was I actually learned this when I was my early 30s, before I had my first child, and it was forced upon me because my dad wanted to. he wanted to start a business, how to teach, how he wanted to start a business to like a side learning center, how to teach abacus to children. And he forced my brother and I to learn. So, yeah, right, Green Pill? I'm just 38 now. Yeah, when I learned it, I was early 30s. And so I actually was pretty apprehensive because I was like, there's no point. Why are we doing this? But as I started going through understanding how to do the abacus, it it really dawned on me that abacus makes math more easy because you could see it and there's formulas to be involved. With the formulas, it's nice to be able to solidify that. And then, and so then now I'm on a quest to show everybody how easy math is with an abacus. But don't forget, abacus is not end all. Abacus is only for arithmetic. I'm not saying you could do algebra with it. I'm not saying you could do calculus. Abacus is the gateway to complex math. It will help solidify arithmetic because what we do, can you do it mental math? I could, but it would be boring. No, I don't specifically do mental math because I just don't. My kids can, so I have 3 boys and they all know how to do it. Sometimes they get a little bit tripped up because symbolically, and they don't really practice. So it all comes with practice, really. I don't practice enough with the questions. I do more teaching as opposed to, like, I can kind of see it, but I don't know. I don't trust myself sometimes. But you can if that's where your goal is. The human, thank you for the follow. So, to be truthful, there are actually abacus competitions, and there's a lot of like that do the actual abacus and they do mentally. Andrew knows. How are you feeling? I know you were sick the other day. I don't know if it was like a, yeah. How are you feeling? You all right? This is your sign to trust yourself. You know best. Well, in mental math, it's just one of those things. The mental math thing, like I don't really practice mental math is what I'm trying to say. I do abacus math, but I physically show it because I really like to be able to see it because I'm very visual, and I get a little anyways. So, um okay, so we're still doing some adding. So if you notice, now I have more than 2 add-ins. I'm doing this one. So I have more than 2 add-ins. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 1. So I add 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this number. This number is 8. So I'm going to add 8. And my answer right now is 9. When I take away, I only take away 6. So I'm going to take away the 6. Same thing. I take away the 5, I take away the 1, and I move them away from the horizontal bar. When the children see to move it away from the horizontal bar, they know that they're subtracting. So that's another thing that I notice. I hear a lot of teachers complain about how the kids don't know how to take away. And I think that's the other thing is like we push them to really understand how to take away the symbol. But I think if we show them, still sick, I just got from a toxic, and I'm randomly added to. Okay. In abacus, we see that we're adding because we bring it to the horizontal bar and then we take it away from the horizontal bar. So when we take it away from the horizontal bar, like this, right, we can see that we're subtracting. Does that make sense? So abacus, we have to have a balance. We need to know how to add it. We need to know how to subtract. Just like we know how to wax on and we know how to wax off, right? So we need to understand, and it goes hand in hand, just like a balance, just like yin and yang, making sure that we understand how to add and subtract. So again, it's still about, can you explain 5 plus 5? Okay, so 5 plus 5. 5 plus 5 is another formula. What kind of formula is it? It's called adding the 10. So in school, we're teaching the children how to add 10. 17 people in the live. That's great. What we're going to do is we're going to learn how to add the 10. Why? Because this is a concept that we need to understand. So here I have 5 plus 5. With the 5 plus 5, if you notice, how do I make a 10? I make a 10 with a 5 and with a 5 plus a 5. So what does that mean? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate this variable. And I'm going to move this to the other side. So my formula would be when I add the 5, because that was the question, 5, and then I'm going to plus the 10 minus the 5. That's what I'm going to do. This is a formula that we need to do. Now, instead of doing 5, Instead of doing 5, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 6. Let's do 6 because the difference is if there's too many of the same numbers, it gets confusing. Or I do 9. Let's do 9. We could do the same thing. The concept's still the same. Why? Because what we're doing is we're focusing on the 5. So when we focus on the 5, we have our 9. We want to add a 5. There's not enough beads to add the 5. What do? My formula is plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 5. Do you see how there's too many 5s? So that's why I did the 9. We can keep going. So what I'm going to do, this plus 10 means that I'm going to go to the next column over. I'm going to add the 10 and I take away the 5. So then my answer is 14. Does that make sense? So let's do another one. Let's keep going. The reason why is because what we do is we focus on the add-in. We don't focus on the result. We don't focus on the answer. So let's do another one, right? Here's another question. 6, right? We have 6. We want to plus the 5. Again, we don't have enough beads to plus the 5. What do? All we have to do is plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 5. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 5. Notice there is that pattern. When I want to add a 5, this is all I do. I add the 10 minus the 5. If I want to do the opposite, all I have to do is minus the 10 plus the 5. This is my number pattern when I want to add the 5. When you see it more often, you will be able to just move it as easy as it is. So that's why I said, so instead of doing 5 plus 5, because 5 plus 5 is a double, right? 7 plus 7 is different because now we're dealing with a two-step equation. But the first thing to do is understand that we have different sets of abacus, different sets of formula. One of them is how to make a 10, and then the other one is how to make a 5. When you understand how to do both of them, then everything else is golden. Then you could do any question. It just depends on how they all fits in. But again, in Abacus, we do not memorize our doubles. We memorize the number to add. We remember or to take away or the subtracted. Those are the numbers we need to remember. How do we subtract and how do we add? Those are what we need to understand. So, are we okay? We're all following? We're tracking? 17 people. Woo! 17 people in the live. Yeah, right? Oh my God. There's like almost 8,000, almost 9,000 likes. It was crazy. Woo! All right. So, we can continue on with the 5s, if that makes sense. So even with the 7, right? 7, super easy. Why? Because we already know how to do the 5. So we have 7, and then the question is always, is there enough? If there's not enough, what do? There's not enough to add a 5. So what do? How else? So this is where we start critically thinking. We are analyzing our question. We're having a conversation with our question, right? In school, I think that's the one thing is we don't have a conversation. What we do here is, I can't add a 5. How can I add a 5? So now we're talking about positive thinking, right? To think outside of the box. Are we thinking outside of the box, or are we looking at our elements? Are we looking at our fundamentals and we're trying to utilize what we have, what we know? So that's the thing. Do I know how to add a 5? I know how to add a 5. What do? Plus the 10 minus the 5. And then what happens is it gets solidified. As we go through adding and subtracting, it becomes more and more solid. And as you build, your reps, right? As you build reps, just like, lifting weights, just like running, right? As you build the reps, you'll start understanding and seeing how things go. So that was the one thing that I noticed, like in school, I think it's great to show all the different strategies, but I think we show too much for the children that they just don't know what to choose. We're asking children to choose. What doesn't make sense to you? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really tell my kids. I tell my kids, you're going to eat dinner and this is what I'm going to give you. I don't really give them a choice. It could be an Asian thing. I don't know. But I just know that I don't. As long as I know a framework, then it's easy to understand. So this is a framework. This is a way to this is a framework, a methodology that Abacus does. So if that makes sense, we can continue on with the 8. Oh, that was the other question. So I had a parent. We can talk about this. I had a parent. They're like, well, I want my child to know what 8 plus 5 is and 5 plus 8 because they want to know the reverse. I'm like, oh, okay. But there's a problem. Why? Because it matters on what the add-in is. Don't rush the process, right? What does that mean? Well, if I do 8 and I want to add another 5, right? Adding a 5, we know how to add the 5. Thank you so much for sharing my, wow, I'm already at 10,000. Thank you so much, everybody. So I'm going to add the 5 plus the 10 minus the 5. And my answer is 13. That's great. That's fine. Now, well, what about the reverse? The reverse is more. Why? Because now we're talking about 8 is the add-in. When we say 8 is the add-in, it's different. Now we have to worry about what it's called a two-step problem. What does that mean? Well, if I have 5 and I want to add 8, we know how to add an 8 just like how we added a 10, right? Plus the 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. This is something that we have to know. Just like it's in the same lines as plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus 5. Make sense? Everybody's tracking? So this is a formula. This is a whole set. There's a whole set. But I'm going to continue on to this. So plus 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. Thanks. I don't know how to say your name because it looks like a symbol. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you. So I'm going to plus the 10 because I want to add the 8. I want to plus the 10, but notice I cannot take away the 2. This 2 is a two-step equation. Why? Because I don't have enough. How can I take away 2? So I plus the 10 and I need to take away the 2. Minus the 2 is a formula, is minus the 5 plus the 3. Notice I learned how to make a 5. That's another formula that I need to know. This is another formula I need to memorize. So in this formula, I want to minus the 5 and I want to add the 3. So we're moving forward and we're jumping around. So that's why I'm taking it slow. And so notice my answer is 13. It's the same, but how to get there is different because now we're dealing with a two-step equation. Hi, Olga. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Makes sense? Does that make sense? So we have to be careful of the questions we're using because it all depends on the add-in or the subtracted that we're using. It all depends on the number that we're trying to add to the equation, to the problem. So that's why when we teach math, it's interesting. I feel like that we just kind of throw all the questions out and we just hope and pray that the kids will understand. Whereas in Abacus, there's a set framework to doing things. I wanted to find so here is an example of the framework. So this here is what we did. We did addition table. We did the first thing we did. I showed you how to do adding without a formula. Then I showed you how to add with a formula. That's what this is. See how we have 5 plus 5? 5 plus 5. And then the other one was 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 is still a plus 5 formula. But see, now the parent was like, well, I want my child to know what 5 plus 8 is. Isn't it the same? No, it's not the same because now we're getting into the realm of two-step equations. And that's the two-step equation right here. So that means it's a adding of a 10 and taking away the 5. Take away the negative, the 5, making of a 5. So in school, in Abacus, we don't say making 5. What we say is friends, small friends, big friends, or family, or so forth. So our language in Abacus is very different than in mainstream math. So mainstream math, we talk about making the 5 and making a 10. Right? And then that's the other thing, some of the strategies. So there was a strategy, there was a number. Oh, I don't think I did it. I don't know if I added it, but there was a strategy that if it was like 242, right? I have to leave now. Do you go live? Yes, I do go live often. Alex will attest to that. Yes, I do go live often. And you can catch me. Just follow me, and you'll know when I go live. Let's see. So there was a question. The question was, I think it was like 42. 42. No, I didn't take a picture of it. Oh, nuts. Okay. So one of the things in new math, it was 242 plus, I don't know, 368. So one of the new maths is change this to a to the lowest 10, right? So it's 240, and then we have this 2 somewhere. So this 2 is going to be somewhere, and then let's say, okay, we have 368. All we could do is we could add our 8 down here, so it'd be 370. So we have all of this. Follow, thank you. Oh yeah, you too, Yasmin. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Thank you for following. So there's a lot of like changing of the numbers and stuff, which is great, which is fine. But I feel like in Abacus we don't necessarily need to do that. So we have 242. So let's do 368. So we need 300. We have 368. What are we doing? Well, what we're doing is we're adding now. What we're doing is we're adding on the abacus. We have 368. 300. So notice when I did it in abacus, we go from left to right. We do 368. So we do 300, 3. I want to add the 3. We know the making of a 5. Plus the 3 is equal to plus the 5 minus 2. So I'm going to plus the 5, take away the 2. And I want to add the 6. There's not enough. There's not enough. So what do? Plus the 6 is equal to plus the 10 minus 4. So we plus the 10 and then take away the 4. And now we have the 8. Again, plus 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. So we plus the 10 and we take away the 2. So then my answer is, anybody know what my answer is? Hopefully I did that right. What is my answer? If this is my ones, my tens, my hundreds, what number would this be? Thank you. Yes, 610. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Dill. Dial. I think it's dial. Yeah. So 610. So in Abacus, these are the formulas that we are reusing and making it versatile. So what does that mean is we're solidifying and doing some, we're solidifying our number fluency. Why? Because we know how to add a 10, because we know how to make a 10, these are the two pairs. So because these are the two pairs, we can flip them, right? So the sister sentence would be plus the 2 is equal to plus the 10 minus 8. Now what's the opposite? Minus 8 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 2. So see how they're all related? Minus 2 is equal to minus 10 plus the 8. They're all related. But what we do is we double down on understanding the concept. As we double down on understanding the concept, then we can move forward. But if you start introducing the kids, I feel like if you introduce, all of these scenarios, like how to make an 8, that doesn't make sense to how to make an 8. So what's a weight? 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. There's nothing other than just doing this makes sense. Understanding the pairs, like how to make a 10 and how to make a 5, in Abacus, it makes sense. Whereas there's in school they said, well, let's find the pairs of 8. I'm like, well, why? What's the point of understanding the pair of 8? Right? How do you make an 8? What does that deal with me? What does that do with anything? What happens, what's better is if we know how to make a 10. If we know how to make a 10, then we have all of these other things that we can look at. So, I can't do that. Sorry. I need it to switch. So, here, when we want to make a 10, we have 9 is equal to plus 10 minus 1. We have 8. We did 8. Now we have 7. 7. What's the pair for 7? 7 is 3, right? Hey, JP. I don't know. Yeah, I saw you. So, right, 7 and then plus 10 is equal to, and then minus 3. How do I know? Because these are pairs. we know how to make a 10. So 6, what's the pair for 6? Plus the 10 minus 4. See how it makes sense. Knowing this doesn't make sense. There's nothing we do that would make this, that doesn't make sense. So then we have our final one, which is plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus 5. Make sense? So when we look at it, it's easy to manipulate. Now, what does that mean? Well, we have 7. So if I did 4 and I want to add the 7, I want to add 7. I plus the 10 and I take away the 3. But see how there's that pattern? 1, there's a pattern. And 2, I just need to memorize 7 plus what 7 is. If I know what 7 is, then I don't need to, I don't even know how to make this into the abacus, because this doesn't make sense. What does make sense is, if I look at it, I don't need to memorize the pair because I just see it. There's 2, and then there's 6, and then there's 8. There's 2. That gives me 8. This one, 5. So I have 5, and then I have 3. Again, gives me 8. But notice we don't focus on the result. We focus on the add-in itself. It's the add-in to see if we have enough. That was a little bit about adding and subtracting. Oh, yeah. Whew. Okay. Where is... I'm looking at... Oh, yeah, 8. Is 8 still here? So, 8, Aaron. Anybody have any questions? We can continue on understanding how to do adding and subtracting or multiplication and division. It all depends. So we did some multiplication. Is this a 7-digit abacus that you have? It is a 7-digit. It is 7 columns. Yes, you're correct. This is 7. This is 13. You can get 13 from Daiso. So I don't know if you have a Daiso. Daiso is spelled D-I-I-S-O. Daiso. So you can get the 13 column one from Daiso. I would recommend doing 13 because the numbers get bigger. You can only do so much with the small one. For the kids, it's fine. For the young ones, it's fine because the numbers don't get too big. And it's nice to graduate them from this to this. When do I graduate them? Depends on how big the numbers are. So definitely after they do multiplication, 2 digits times 2 digits. If they do 3 digits times 2 digits, right? If they do 3 digits for 3 times that by 2 digits, 21, then I would transition them to a 13 column one because this gets a little bit unruly. I mean, you could, start, you'd be up here, but then I feel like I need more space just in case. Because what if there was like a bigger number, like, yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing your passion. It's cool. Yeah, not a problem. Do you know how to use large horizontal abacus? The one goes like this. I do not. However, if you want to modify it, you can. I was talking to this just not so long ago. So there is a horizontal one. It goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, so this is 10. Oh, no, that's wrong. That's 10, right? So we have 10. You could, this is my horizontal bar, right? This is the horizontal. You could tape 5. You could tape 5, right? Leave this open, and then I would switch it, if I can, right? I would switch it to make it go like this. So then this is taped together, and then this would be moving. But then you need a horizontal bar. So grab a string. Maybe I should have gotten a different kind of string. But grab a string, and then that would be your thing. I never know how to use it until today. Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to, you can modify your horizontal abacus. And so what I would do is I would tape this part, because this would be 5. The reason why you want to tape it is because we cannot break the 5 on this abacus, right? So if you want to modify it, you can. There's There's a few people that have the horizontal abacus, and if you want to learn how to use this abacus, this style of abacus, you can modify your horizontal one, and then this would be the same. So this is 5, so I would still have 5, and then I'd add 5, right, and then 6, 7, 8, and then 9. That's what I would do. Does that make sense? And then I would move it away. So I have 5, take away 4. Yeah, not a problem. But yeah, the horizontal bar, it's very common. The horizontal bar is very common. It's great for knowing quantity. It's really good for knowing quantity because in this kind of abacus, there is no quantity, right? There's only 5. Where are you from? Like right now, where am I? I understand. The 5 makes sense. Seems to be more efficient. Yeah, the 5 makes really sense. Like where am I right now? I'm in California. Where am I from? Like where was I born? I don't know. I'm just kind of like trying to figure. There's a lot to it, to that question. Yeah, right. So the 5 makes sense, and so that was the one question: was is this a base 5? No, this is not a base 5 because a base 5 means that the numbers only go to 5. This is still a base 10. Base 10 decimals are base 10. That's it. So yeah, I'm from California, if that makes sense. Southern California. And if you're looking for something in person, I do have a learning center out in Monterey Park. But yeah, it, but the one thing is to understand that there's formulas involved. When there's formulas involved, then it'd be one of those things just to memorize the formulas. You can explain it to the kids, or you can just say, you know what, memorize. We tell the kids to memorize anyways, but they will see when you do it through the abacus, they will see the number patterns, and then it would make a lot of sense. So one of the things was, let's say the 5. Let's go back to the 5, and some of the kids were having problems with understanding how to make a 5. So what I did was, hey Namek, ignam, igmatic. Thank you. Sorry. So what I did was I have a little story. The little story is there's going to be 5 cats in a tree. So with the 5 cats in the tree, the question is 2. So I have 2. And then I have a 4. Do I have enough to add the 4? No, I don't have enough to add the 4. So what I do is I go to the cats in the tree, and I go to the cats to the tree, and I bring down the 5. I grab 4 cats. Now 1 cat runs away. So then I'm left with 6. So that was the one thing, because in this book, when I was creating it, I was assuming that the children would be young. And so they don't need to know why I'm doing this. They just need to know how I'm doing this. And that's how I would show it. So I'd be +2. Is there enough? There's not enough. What do? Go to the cats in the tree, and I grab 4 cats. 1 cat runs away. So my answer is 6. So it'd be the same thing here, right? I go to the cats in the tree. So here I had 3. I don't have enough. So I go to the cats in the tree. There's always 5 cats in a tree. 5 cats in a tree. I grab 4 cats, and 1 cat runs away. So, wow, 12,000 likes. I think there's, thank you so much, Dandelion, for giving a heart me. I didn't see you in there. So, does that make sense? You grab 5 cats. I don't grab 5 cats. I grab 4 cats. I go to the cat tree that has 5 cats. So I grab 4 cats, and 1 cat runs away. Yeah. That's how this scenario is working. I go to the tree. So I go to the tree, I add the 5. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit of semantics, but no, I don't grab 5 cats. I grab 4 cats, and 1 cat runs away. So that's the one thing, is like, just to getting this idea. Once they get this idea, it's easier. It will come easier when you do the minus. The minus, I did flowers in a pot. Yeah. I'm still building it. I kind of got into a little bit of a mental block on creating my book, but it's going to get done this weekend. So, but it's to continue on with my curriculum. So the curriculum is, I was thinking that kids are young. I didn't think about kids being old, but the kids are young. We'd start them on the preschool one, and then after the preschool one, it would be the +5, and then after the +5, there'll be a +10. The +10, if you notice, I used asteroids. So what does that mean? So if we're doing that to asteroids, we have the 4, and then I add 9. There's not enough. So what do? I go to the asteroid belt, which is this. I do a +10 asteroid belt, and I add the 10. I add this 10 because I go to it, right? And then I have to take away 1 because 10 is too much, so I have to take away 1. So my answer is 13. And that's another one. And then after that will be the -10s, and then after that would be two-step equation. And then after the two-step equation, I don't think I need to necessarily have the different scenarios like this, because by then they will understand how to utilize it. I just need to build it and then have the questions and it'll be ready. But I don't think I need to do this anymore with the two-step equation. The reason why I have this is to solidify the concept of making of a 5 and making of a 10. So yeah, when I do the two-step, it'll be interesting, but it won't be that difficult. It's just another way of looking at things. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. So here is an example of the formulas that we need to memorize. So this is the 5 formula. This is what you have to memorize, and this is the 10 formula. And again, it's something you have to memorize. The way I have it is, if you see, they kind of work hand in hand. So we have 9 and 1 and 1 and 9. So if you know the pair, then it's easy to be flexible with it. And then again, there's the minus. So the only thing that's different is the operator. This is the minus. So we're taking away. If we add the 4, we can take away the 4. We add the 3, we can take away the 3. So this is part of my another book that I'm building. But this would probably go into one of the higher maths that I'm doing. So, but that's the framework. The framework, there's a set ways of doing things. There's a framework and there's a bunch of questions. So when we do math, it's not just how do you do it, it's is there enough and how can I do it? So it is always a possibility to add the math. It's just depending on how to do it, and about number flexibility. When you're flexible with the numbers, then it's easy to go. So, yeah. Anybody have any other questions? Hi, Lindsay. So, anybody have any questions? We can talk about this some more. We can talk about anything abacus. Whew, that was a lot. Okay. So we can count. So we're going to count because I feel like there's some people coming in, some people coming out. So we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime the beads are touching this horizontal bar, we're counting it. So we have 4 and then 5. After 5 is 6. All the top bead has a value of 5. So this is 5, this is 5, this is 5. These are all 5s. And then after 5 is 6. How do I know? Because of the horizontal bar, this beam, this 5 is counting and this 1 is counted. So we have 6 and then 7. You'll notice we have 5 and 2 makes 7. 5 and 3 makes 8. And 5 and 4 makes 9. I want to do more practice problems so I can practice doing it with you on my abacus. Oh, okay. So we have a few more. We could do this. We will do, oh, I didn't do it on this one. Practice. So here we can do the 5s. Are you ready to do some 5s? Solidify our 5s. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from here. Yeah, right? Okay, yeah, you know what? We'll start from here. I want to get different color pencil crayons. So we're going to do 5. We have 3. And notice I have another 3. I don't have enough to do 3. What do I do? What do I do? I want to add a 3. If we remember our formula, if I want to add the 3, I just need to plus the 5, take away the 2. So this is the 5 formula that we're doing, right? So I want to add this 3. I'm going to plus the 5 and take away the 2. And then plus the 1. That's all I'm doing. So my answer is, what's my answer? Seven, right? Thank you. Thank you, Dandelion. Yeah, let me go if I'm going too fast. So I'm just going to color this in, because what we're trying to do is we're going to take this basketball and we're trying to go into the hoop. So we're going to find our way through. This is a good exercise. Okay, so I'm done. All right. So now, because I'm doing the maze, I'm going to go to this box over here, right? Because that's where this is falling. So I go 3, so I'm adding 3, and I plus the 4. How do I add the 4? How do I add the 4? Yes, thank you. So I plus the 5, and I take away the 1. So I have 7, and then I take away 2. Thank you, Levi. Then I take away the 2. So I take away the 2. My answer is 5. So I just need to follow the box. I like to color it all in because it just looks prettier. Okay, so now we're back to here. 2. So again, if you notice, all of these questions are only focused on how to make a 5. So we have 2 plus 1 and then plus 3. When we add a 3, what do we do? Again, we need to remember plus 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus, plus the 5 minus 2. So here, when I want to add the 3, I'm adding this. I want to plus the 5, take away the, yes, thank you, Dandelion, take away the 2. Yes, Ona, yes. So my answer is 6. So this is 9, this is 8, this is 6. So yeah, and then it's the whole maze. That's what we're doing. So we have 4. Why do you start there on the 3rd column? I start here because if you see that there's a indicator. This indicator is my indicator to say that this is my ones column. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4. You could choose this if you wanted to. You could choose this if you wanted to. I chose this just because it's just easier, but you could choose this. I sometimes use this one depending on where I am in the camera. So I love seeing how your workbook page works. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was one of those things. And that's why, like, I wish I could churn it out more and quickly. I know there's like a bunch of books out, people talk about AI and stuff. I don't see how AI can do this. Just saying. 4. So I have 4. And then I have 1. Notice I have 1. I don't have enough beads to add the 1. So what do? Whoa, I want to add the 1. I'm on this one right here. I want to add the 1. So what do? I plus the 5. And I take away the 4. So I just added the 1. Yes, thank you, Ona. Right, makes sense, right? And then what do? I plus the 4. So we're going to plus the 4. So my answer is 9. My answer is 9. My answer is 9. So it's this one right here, right? Okay, so we'll keep going. So we have 3 plus another 3. What is that? How do we add another 3? Again, plus the 5 minus the 2. And then minus 1. So my answer is 5. Right? My answer is 5. Whew, under skills. Welcome. Taking it slow, taking it slow. Yeah, what and this is interesting because when I build my next book, I will do it live to make sure that it's edited, and then I'll see to edit it, make sure that all of the questions work well. The reason why is because I don't want the kids to get stuck on the questions. So that's why I want to make sure that the questions make sense. So we have minus the 5, so we take away the 5, and then we add the 4. Again, to add the 4, hey Alma, we're just working through my maze. Plus the 5 minus the 1. So my answer is 5. So my answer is 5. So I gotta go this way. Wonderful. Yeah, yeah, taking it slow. Everybody, it just seemed like it was consensus to go through my workbook, which is interesting. So yeah, my next one, when I get my book ready, we will be going to how to do minus 5. But the first thing we're doing right now is we're just going through the plus 5. So we have 4 and then plus 1. To plus 1, what do we do? Oh, boo. I'm trying to verify that I'm still here. All right, verification complete. Thank you. So what do I want to do? Oh yeah, that's right, because I want to take away the 1. So I'm taking away the 1. So it's plus the 5, take away the 4. And then plus 3. All I got to do is add the 3. And then my answer is 8. So I go this way. So then 2. So I had 2 plus another 2. And now I have the 1. Again, plus 5 minus 4. Everybody go get an abacus. It's much easier to do it with her. Yeah. Yeah. Right? It's easier to do it than it is to watch. Yeah, I know a few people bought an abacus, and as they joined my live, they're starting to do it with me. So that's what we're doing. So I have 1, and I have 4. Fun, not sins. um. Oh, so plus the 4. I want to plus the 5. Take away the 1. And then a plus 2. So I'm going to add 2. So, and my answer is 7. Thank you so much for liking my like. Yeah, we're just going through math problems now. So, if you notice, when I made the maze, you actually touch every box. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's always going to be 12 questions for every maze. And that was one of the things I made sure of. So we have 4 minus 3 and then plus 4. Plus 4 is plus the 5 minus 1. So my answer is 5. So it's not that, but it's here. And that's 5. So our final one, or is our final one? No, our second to final. 9 minus 8 minus 5 minus 6, 7 minus 8. And then plus 1. I'm sorry, plus 4. Plus 4 is plus the 5 minus the 1. So my answer is 5. My answer is 5. And then do this. And then my final answer, we have 4 plus 4 plus the 5 minus the 1. and then minus 1. So my answer is 7. That's it. That's my one worksheet. And that's the thing. They go through every box. That's the plan, to go through every box. But yeah, so I have my basketball and it goes into the hoop. Oh, I have to update that. Yeah, see, I these are the things I need to update. I didn't do this live before. I'm just looking for a post-it note. I need to, oh, here it is. Yeah, it's interesting, going through it and making sure that the questions all make sense. Okay, just good understanding of abacus. Yeah, we're just talking about the abacus. I only do arithmetic. I only do adding, subtracting, multiplication, division on the abacus. So, but if you're looking for algebra, I know a person who does algebra, and she's on live all the time. We have a little bit of we get a little bit inspired when we each go live. But yeah, if you're looking for something different under skills, let me know. But yeah, we just do abacus. Okay, sorry. The question is this new math supposed to lead into a different type of mental math? Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. You know what? New math is actually abacus. It took me a while to figure that one out. That was fun. Oh yeah, thank you, Dandelion. New math is actually abacus math, and I was like breaking it down, and I'm like, oh. Sometimes they get a little bit much about when they do pictures. They do a lot of pictures. Abacus doesn't do as many pictures. So one of the ones was it was multiplication. So one of them was a multiplication one, and it was easier to do it on the abacus. And I can do a side by side. So one of the questions, let's do it. So one of the questions was 34 times up by 7. Now, in abacus, what we need to do is we need to understand our starting point. When we learn our starting point, we know that we're going to be in the hundreds. 1, 2, 3. How do I know? Because we count how many digits. The reason why we need to know how many digits is to know where we're going to put our answer on the abacus. In new math, we don't need to worry about where to put the answer because we're just writing it out. But the difference is when we utilize the abacus, we don't need to do as much working memory thinking, if that makes sense. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 7 times 3. 7 times 3 is equal to 21. Now, in new math, what they do is they do 30 times 7. Now, the difference between this is that in abacus, we only manage small chunks. 30 is kind of big. So if you look, I actually don't need to say 7 times 30 because I have my abacus helps me. So here it would be 210. But in abacus, we just say 21. All I need to do is add 20 and I add 1. So I add 20 and I add 1. So now I have my running total. I have my partial product here. I'm done. No, I'm not done because I still have 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is equal to 28. When we do 28, it's the same thing here, right? 4 times 7 is equal to 28. But on the abacus, it's already here. So on the abacus, I just need to add 28. I add 20, and then I add 8. In the new math, now what we do is we add it. So we add 2, 3, 8. But the difference in between the new math and the abacus math is that abacus math, we do it on the abacus. New math, we're writing it out. So as we write it out, there's a lot of things. Then there was there was a whole bunch of like, oh, we could do, I don't know, what is 34 take away divided by 2? Hey, Alma, thank you so much for the heart me. And thank you so much for the rose, Dandelion. So this is what they call new math. It's really abacus math. But the difference is we're using the abacus to help hold the Hey Kai, welcome back. Thank you for liking the like. Abacus math is new math, apparently. Did that make sense? That's what new math is. How do you read the thing? Oh, hey, Rubina. Hey, Kai. Welcome back. Weren't we just here? Okay, Rubina, we're going to count on the abacus. We do 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime that the beads are touching this horizontal bar, that's what's being counted. So when we count and we want to know what 5 is, the top bead is 5. The top bead always has a value of 5. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After 9, we have 10. After 10 is 11. This is my ones, this is my tens, this is my hundreds, this is my thousands, and this is my 10,000. Hi, human student. Make little arithmetic mistakes, but they know how to do the problem. Yes. Why do I start in the middle? Because I have this indicator. This is not a dot in the camera. This is an actual indicator that's on my abacus. This abacus right here, my indicator, is my ones place. That's why. So I can start either in this one or I could start on this one. If you notice, I have another indicator here. But the reason why we have the indicator is to know also the sections. So when we write it, 1348, notice I have an indicator. This helps us break up our numbers when we write. This comma, it's kind of the same thing with the indicator. This is my indicator to tell me where I'm talking about, right? So it's the same thing with the decimal. Well, my decimal is 25. What happens? So if this is my ones, this is my indicator, is my ones. Between my ones and my tenths is my decimal. Notice my decimal does not take a place value. It sits between the two columns. So the abacus helps relate to place values. So this would be 25. So we have, let's count it, 1,348.25. Does that make sense? Yeah, make a little arithmetic mistakes, but they know how to do the problem. Yeah, exactly. And that was the interesting thing. Like, my kids would have problems and always get the wrong answer. So I'd always tell them to go back and get them the right answer. So when they go back to make the answer correct, they notice what their mistakes are when they do the abacus. But I mean, these questions were long. Like they were like 5, 6, 7 questions, like add-ins that's are like 5, 6, 7 digits long. Yeah. So that's how you read the abacus. And then after you learn how to read the abacus, we can do some adding. So when we add, and these are going to be simple numbers, why? Because we have enough beads to add 2. So let's say 2, and then we add another 2. All we're doing is moving the beads. So now I have 4. Now, the biggest thing is understanding how to read the abacus. When you understand how to read the abacus, it's easy to add and subtract. And then we have formulas that we need to memorize. So we have 4, and then this is 5. Together, this is 9. So then we have 10. This is 10. Just like a 1 and a 0, that's 10. And then we have 11, 12, 13, 14. And then 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 19. After 19 is 20, just as we write 2 and a 0, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then we have 60, 70, 80, 90. Yeah, makes sense? So, yeah, it's interesting, like how to go through and stuff. But I was trying to figure out, like, this one. Okay, anyways, so. Thank you for the follow. Oh, under skills. 18, 13. Okay, thank you. Let's do that question. How do you do multiplication? Elf, we will do multiplication after I do this addition problem. So we have 13 plus 18. Easy. Easy. Now notice, after we do this, we'll do multiplication. After this, So notice I'm going to start from here because now I could do it here, but then you might, anyways. So I'm going to do it here. My ones will be here. So I have 13. So I have 13. I had 1 and then I had 3. And then I will do 18 plus the 1 plus the 8. Now what do? I don't have enough beads to plus the 8. When I plus the 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. So I have to minus the 2. Do you see that? Thank you. Hey, Lady E. No, not yet, Elf. What are we doing today? Hi again. Right now we're doing adding. So we're doing 13 minus 8. So plus the 5 minus the 2. How to add an 8? The 8. How to add an 8? There is no 5 plus 2. Right? So that's why we don't do this one. What we're going to do is we're going to plus the 10. So we add the 10 on this side. So we add the 10 and then we take away the 2. We take away the 2 in this column. So then my answer is 31. We could, okay, so you know what? We'll take what Alf said. No. We'll take what Alf said, right? 5 minus 2, which is good, right? So let's do, what was it? 13. So we have this. Let's say we want to plus the 5, take away the 2. We plus the 5, but then plussing the 5 is only plus 3. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So if we do the plus 5, we're only adding 3. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we have so that's why we don't do 5 minus 2. What happened, Dandelion? What do you see? Elf. Okay, so we're going to do some multiplication. Very neat. Oh, yeah. I don't get it. Oh. Robina. It's not because of this. What it is we don't. I did it before you knew it was right. Yeah, great. Robina, it's when we're adding, there's a few things that we need to know. So one of the things we need to know in the school, does that make sense, Ona? So, Rabina, what we're going to do is, so the first thing we do is we understand that we add simple, right? We do 5 and plus 4, right? That makes sense. Does that make sense? Because we're just moving the beads. So if I have my question, let's do a question. Let's do this, right? We do 6. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, good. So we do 6 and then plus 2, right? That gives me 8. That's easy. Not a problem. Okay, so let's do that. So we are done with that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to understand how to make a 5. Now, how to make a 5 means in school, we're teaching children how do we make a 5. What are the ways to make a 5? What are the ways to make a 5? Let's see if I have it. It's number bond. Where's my number bonds? What are some of the ways to make a 5? When we make a 5, right, we can do 1. If this is 5, we can do 4 plus 1, right? What's another way? We have a 2, 5 plus 3. So this is just an exercise to have the kids to understand how to make a 5 and what they're bonded to. We could do 3 and then 5 and 2. So we know that these two are pairs. Does that make sense? So when we know that these two are pairs, then we can start modifying it. Why? Because when we do this, right, what's going to happen is we're going to utilize this 5. We're going to make these numbers work for their keep. So here, my question is 4. My question is 2. So I add the 2. Now I don't have enough beads to add the 2. What do? Well, I want to add the 5 and I take away the 1, because that is how Thank you, Lady E, because that's how they're related. Does that make sense? So I have my 5, I add the 5, and adding the 5 is too much, so I have to take away the 1. In this scenario, what I did is I said there's 5 cats in a tree. So what's going to happen is I go to the cats in the tree, and then I grab 4 cats, but then 1 cat runs away. So then my answer is 6. So one of the things is to understand is how to make a 5. So the way the book is written, the way this workbook is, I only focus in on the add-in because we understand how to make a 5. So how to do a +3, how to do a 2, and how to do a 1. Those are the only 4 numbers we need to understand when we want to build a 5, when we want to build this 5. So can we do a 3-figure problem, addition problem? Yeah? Let me think about it. Okay? Okay, here is... Okay. This one will be easy because it all depends on the numbers. So the numbers would be 1, 2, 0, 8, 2, 6. Is that what you're talking about, Alf? This is easy. Why? Because if I line it up, ones, tens, hundreds. I have ones, 120. And then I move it down. And all I got to do is, do I have enough for 8? I do. So I'm going to add 8. And then add 20. I'm going to add 2. And then over here. And then I'm adding my 6. So I add my 6. So notice the abacus keeps track of the place value. So I don't need to worry about it. I just need to worry about how to move the beads. Does that make sense? So yeah. So my answer is 9, 4, 9, 4, 6. Make sense, Rabina? So but see, the thing is it all depends on the numbers. We only focus on the single number. Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? Let's take it one more step, right? Let's take it one more step. Let's do 120, 20, right? The same one. But now we're going to do 846. Same thing. We do 120, right? We do 120. And then what are we going to do? We'll do 8, right? We have 5, 6, 7, 8. So I do 8. Now I'm going to add the 4. Notice I only say 4. I do not say 40. I don't make it more complicated than it really is. Why? Because on my abacus, I already have the 2. I'm only adding the 4 to this column. That's all I'm doing. I'm adding 4 to this column. So remember, plus 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. I only need to worry about plus the 5, take away the 1. And then I add my 6. So I add 6. So my answer is 966. 966. So that's the difference. The difference is in mainstream math, we look at a bigger, it's big. But in abacus, we talk about manageable chunks. I can see if I can add the 4 or not. I cannot see if I add 30. You know what I mean? So it's a lot about what do we understand and how does it become manageable, right? When we start adding in, I mean, they're just zeros, but zeros, there's a lot to it than just this. So that's why we focus on just the bare minimum. We only focus what we need. And then from here, we add it on the abacus. So what about when adding the ones adds the hundreds and it's the same thing. It doesn't matter because it's just a decimal. I mean, we could do it. Let me get another question. So let's do this. Let's do this one. It'll be easy. So we did 0.3 plus 21, right? 0. That's it. So same thing. My ones is here. My decimal sits here. So I put the 5 and I put the 3. I'm adding it. All I got to do is put 20 and then put 1. But notice I'm staying here. Do I need to line it up? I don't need to line it up if you really think about it. Why? Because I'm always looking at it as a whole like this. It doesn't matter if I line it up. Because I don't do, in Abacus, we don't do ones and then tens. So if I had a bigger number, so I'm running out of paper. Let's do this. So here, the reason why, if we started talking about more add-ins, we do 22 and then 65, right? When we do this, we don't do ones first. We don't do this and then we do this because you've got to make sure that it all lines up, right? In Abacus, we actually do it by this. So if I did 22, right? Then when I move it down, I'm going to add 1 and 2. And then I'm going to move it down. I'm going to add 6 and 5. Yeah. So when we do it, when Abacus does it, we do it as a whole, the number as a whole. So we do it this way. So it doesn't matter if we line it up. So my answer is 99. Does that make sense? Yeah. You add the numbers as a whole. Yeah. Yeah. Because then we don't have to go back and then add and then carry our 10. Right? So we do a lot of carries of the 10s because we do ones column first and then the 10s column. But if we do, so let's do another one. So let's do this one. Trying to find a number. Let's do this one. Okay, so let's do this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to start carrying over. What does that mean? This plus the 10, we already carry over. That's a carry over right there. Oh, somebody asked something. So that's already a carrying over. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of questions, and I'll show you how to carry over. Okay, we'll do that. So we have 32 plus 18, and then 52. Does it matter which side you use? No. Oh, like this side or this side? No, it doesn't matter. I chose this side because the way the camera is, but usually I would go this way because then I have more numbers here. That's why. So no, it doesn't matter. As long as you deemed one of the indicators as your home, as your ones. Yeah. No, that's a good question. No, that's a very good question. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So we're going to add 30 and we add 2, right? Not a problem. Now what are we going to do? Well, we do 18. We do 1, and then we're going to do 8. This is where we start talking about our formulas. Our formulas is what's going to help us understand, or like move the numbers. So if we remember, plus 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. This carrying over always means the next column over. That's what it always means. Next column over. That's it. But because I'm doing it as a whole, I just need to worry about this 8. So I'm going to do plus the 10, take away the 2. Plus the 10, take away the 2. Okay, I cannot plus the 10. Why? Because I already have enough beads here. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but the way to add a 5, because we want to utilize this, if we want to add the 1, it's equal to plus 5 minus 4. So this is a two-step equation. Why is it two-step? Because I'm taking this and I'm making it into two steps. So this is a little bit more advanced. This is why we have to be careful with the numbers we're using on the abacus. So what we're going to do is we're going to plus the 5, take away the 4. That's what this is, right? That's what the 10 is. And then I take away the 2. So I'm here. My running total right now is 50. And then I go here. I added 52. So remember how to add a 5. I don't want to say 50. I say 5. I want to add a 5 in this column right here. Do you remember how to add a 5? How do I add a 5? So to remember how to add a 5, it's plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10. Again, oh yeah, thank you, lady, minus the 5. So remember, this 5 is carrying over. Thank you, Ona. This is the, yeah, thank you, Elf. This is carrying over. This is the 10. So we're going to do plus the 10. That's what we carry over. We add it to here. And then we take away the 5. And then add the 2. So the adding of the 5, adding of the 10 and taking away the 10 is called, grouping and regrouping is the new math. Or when, old school, we call it borrowing and carrying. But in Abacus, we don't do too much. We don't do, if you noticed, we didn't do this and then this, right? Figuring out the numbers as they come along, that's when we do it. So then we have running totals. So my answer is 102. 102. Yes, thank you, Daisy. That's good. Yeah, right? It makes sense. But again, it goes back to, can I do that one again? Yeah. So let me rewrite it. 3218 plus 52. These are all plus. So when I do it, oh yeah, see, Rubina, if you notice, I started over here. The reason why, if I stayed here, I don't have any more. I don't have any ones. I don't have hundreds. So that's why I would have to switch it and go to the one over here. So that's why I did it. So I have 32. So I have 30, and I have 2. And then what do? I have 1. So I add my 1. So now I have 4. So my running total right now is 42 without the 8. I'm trying to figure out how they did it in new math, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So now what I want to do is I want to add this 8. So I'm adding the 8. I see, yeah. So I'm going to rewrite the question. My running total is 2 plus 8. That's my running total, right? This is what we're doing. I've already added the 1, so I have the 4. So my running total is, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this 8. Plus the 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. So I plus the 10, and I take away the 2. Plus the 10. But notice I have a 4 here. I don't have enough beads to add 1. So what do? Why? Those formulas you just memorized in plus 10s and plus 5. Yes. Why plus 10 minus 2? Because I want to utilize this 10. Minus, can you add a 50? I can add a 50, but I need to add 8. You can add a 50, but that's not 8. So, okay, so let's say we add 50, right? Or I'm sorry, we add 50? We add 50? It's a carryover. Yeah, so the plus 10 is a carryover. I would add the 50, right? But to add the 50, to add the 5, it's plus the 5, take away the 4. That's how I do the 1. That's how I do the carryover. It's a carryover. Yeah, that's the carryover. And then I have to take away 2. So I take away the 2. So my answer is 50. Yes. Does that make sense? I'm looking at the comments. That's why my head is down. Okay. So we're running total is 50, right? Our running total is 50. And then what do? We add 52. So we add another 5. So plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus 5. So I plus the 10. So I want to add 5. I want to plus the 10. I'm going to plus the 10 and take away the 5. And then I add my 2. So I add my 2. Wow, there's still 12 people in the room. We're just mathing in the middle of the day now. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. Makes sense, right? But again, yes, you're right. We have to memorize the how to make a 5 and how to make a 10. Plus 50, plus 10, or plus 50. I wouldn't say plus 50. I would say plus 5. So when am I live again? I'm live quite often. I probably go live again middle of the night. I'm live pretty often. And we just go through Abacus. We just go through a bunch of questions over and over again. Add 10, add the 5, add the 10, or plus 50. I don't understand that. Plus 50. Because we added the 10 minus the 5. Minus the 5, and we add the 2. I'm not sure, Lady E, what you were saying. Yeah. So yeah, Rubina, I'm live all the time. It's not the only. I'm live what, twice, at least twice a day. One in the morning, like I'm in California, so one in the morning and one at night. Thank you, Al, for the follow. Yeah, 3 times, sometimes 3 times. Yeah, 2 to 3 times a day. I think the last time, I think yesterday was like twice, and it was really crazy. It was so funny. I did it late at night because I was midnight math. I did midnight math, and then I woke up early because I was like super excited because I found out about. Oh, then last night I wasn't gonna go on last night, but I decided to go on last night because I started thinking about. I found what new math was about, and I was like super excited because new math is actually abacus math. It's just new math is in written form, whereas abacus is with an abacus, and that's the interesting. Is it possible to practice online or with an app? Yes, it is possible. You can find abacus, just find abacus applications. I know there was a person, he found a bunch, there's a bunch of abacus phone apps if you want to do it on the phone app. I think the confusion on 50 was due to the understanding that the ones and the tens and the hundreds columns. Yes. So I see what you're saying. Yes. So I haven't done new math. How is it similar? Um, Hold on. Tiffany, hold on. Let me just think about what Alma said. Yes, you're absolutely right. I see what you're saying. So, okay. So when we do the 50, let's say we had 50, right? We had 50. We're adding 52. We don't say add the 50 is plus the 100 minus the 50. We do not say that. I do not say plus 50 is equal to plus 100 minus 50 because now we just complicated it. Abacus already shows us where our numbers are. We just need to remember the formula. Plus the 10, plus thing the 10 always is the next one over, right? Because we're writing it out, it's better to say it. But in Abacus, we don't need to write it out. We just need to remember when I add the 50, I just need to plus the 10 and then take away the 5. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 5. That's it. So, Tiffany, your question is what is new math? New math is writing it all out like this. How is it similar? The difference is Abacus doesn't talk about the numbers like this. Abacus does it on the Abacus already. So when we do it, we already just we focus on the number when we're adding. So we're adding the 5 I don't need to say adding the 100. If we did, if we're going to say add 50, oh, I don't even know. Now it just gets complicated. But see, that's the thing. We just say plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 5. So, and again, let's say, okay, let's take it one step further. Let's talk about to 50, let's change it to 5,000, right? We do 5,000 plus 5,200. We don't say add 5,000 because then it just gets confusing. So we have the 5 because we know 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Those are the zeros. This is a 5. Now we're adding another 5. We're only focusing on that digit. We're only focusing on this one digit. So we plus the 5 is plus the 10, take away the 5. We do not say plus the 50, take away the, you know what I mean? Oh, snap. Okay. Okay, sounds good. What about the gym? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So in Abacus, we just do it this way. So we say plus the 5. We want to plus the 5. Plus 5 is equal to plus 10 minus 5. We only focus on this one, right? So that's why we say plus the 10. Plus the 10, take away the 5, and then plus 2. We say plus 2. We don't say plus 200 because we don't need to write it out. The Abacus already does it. Oh, okay. Did that make sense? Yeah. See, it's the question, right? The confusion is fine when you start adding it, but then it gets worse. The concept gets worse when you start to scale it, right? When we scale it to, like, 3 digits, 5 digits, 10 digits, 11 digits long, then it doesn't make sense to do it this way. So it's easier to scale if we just bring it down to its manageable chunks. Manageable chunks is plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 5. 49 plus 5. Okay, so 49 plus 5, now we're getting into two-step equation. So we have 49 plus 5. This is a two-step equation. How do I know? Because we added it's the 50. So we have 40, we have 9. 49. So there it is, 49. When we add the 5, plus the 5 is still equals to plus the 10 minus the 5. But now this right here is going to be our two-step equation, because the only thing that's different is the 10. This 10 is the same as 1. We're just moving it to one column over. So plus 1 is equal to plus the 5 minus 4. Why? Because I'm only adding 10. Plus the 10 minus the 5. Plus the 10. Add the 5. Right? We want to add the 5. You had that before, which is good, right? Because you know I want to add the 5, take away the 4, and then minus the 5. So my answer is 54. Make sense? Yeah. Yeah. But again, we start seeing two-step equations, and again, but notice with our two-step equation, it's still making a 5 and making a 10. It just matters on what we're making it out of. So this one specifically is a 4. So now this is a two-step. We've seen others where, right, we had plus the 10 minus the 2. And then this became, oh, sorry, this became a two-step equation because we could not minus the 2. So plus 5 is always just pull everything in the next. So plus 5 is always just pull everything in the next column down. Yes, yes, but it all matters on this formula right here, right? That formula is plus the 5 minus the 4. It's the same thing if we had it over here. If we had 4 and then plus 1. Plus 1 is plus the 5 minus 4. So it's still the same, just in a different column. So this one is 49. 49 plus 5 is plus the 10 minus 1. Plus the 10 plus 5 minus 4, and then minus the 5. Yeah. So when we do this, we want to be focused on the specific column that we're working on. Yeah. So it doesn't even matter, like we could be over here, 4,000. 4,000 plus 1,000 plus the 5 minus the 4. That's it. So if we, yeah, right? Even when we have 4,000, 4,000, we don't say 1,000 is equal to 5,000 minus 4,000. We don't say that. We say plus the 5 minus the 4 because we already know what that is. So it doesn't matter where we are. We can even do it here, right? We don't say 100th. Plus the 5 minus the 4. That's it. So that's why that's why it's versatile. That's why it's versatile. Thank you for sharing my life. That's why understanding this becomes versatile. It doesn't matter how many digits, it doesn't matter how big the question is. What matters is what number you're trying to add. And then you figure out if it's a two-step equation or a three-step equation. And then it gets, obviously it gets more hairy when we have it like 999. That thing I just said made no sense. I wasn't sure. No, it did make sense. It did make sense. Because what it was is you're being hung up on the what we're trying to do. But yeah, you're right. It's when we do 4, everything comes down. So that means 5 comes down, 4 comes down. So when we do it, that's what it means. And on the next column. Plus, and that's what it is. Bring down at the same time. See how there's a number pattern? When I want to add the 1, that's all I'm doing. Bring it all down. This is awesome. Thank you. Edda. So, is the 10 by 10 abacus that they make for toddlers useful other than teaching to count? It is useful, and you're right, it is to teach to count. I have seen that you can do adding and subtraction on it. I have seen that in a YouTube video. Can you do it? Yes, you can. I don't know how to do it. However, you can modify it if you have it. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's say this is my example, right? My example is the 10 by 10. And it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick it up. Can you say plus 20 minus the number? No, because plus 20 just means 2. Tiffany, I would break it up. I would tape 5 if you have one. I would tape 5 and I would only use this, right? And then what I would do is I would flip it, and then you could start utilizing it like the abacus, like what we're doing. So here, I would take a pipe cleaner, I make this my horizontal bar, and you could use it. I'd add the 5, right? And this is taped together, right? So this is taping together. This is 5, and this is 6. So if I bring it together, that's 5 and 6. Hey, squared! So then this is 7. So 5, 6, 7. And then 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make sense? So you can modify the 10 by 10 if you want to do it. So, but I know other people have been able to do multiplication on it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how they do adding, I don't know how they do adding, subtracting on it either, because I don't teach it. So the question, Lady E says, you say plus 10. Is there a plus 20 number? Well, let's workshop this. I don't even know what it would be. I don't even know, like, what are we gonna do? Plus 20 minus, I guess it would be 18 minus 2. I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work because it'd still be 1 is equal to plus 20 minus 19. I don't even know how it'd work. Yeah, really? I like that. I'd modify until I get a new one. Yeah, you can modify. You know what? You can modify and you may not even need a new one. I know there's a bunch of people that have the 10 by 10. And I was thinking about it. It's like, it is possible. So, yeah, I would tape the 5. Yeah. Hey, Megan. Yeah, let me know how that works. But yeah, I would tape 5 and then I'd use like a pipe cleaner or a string to use it as a horizontal bar. And then I would flip it. So, and then I would use, right? And then I'd use the columns as we do for this, right? We have the columns that go like this. Yeah. Thank you for liking my live. Hi, Issa. Yeah, lady, I don't know about the plus 20. It wouldn't make sense to me. Because now we're not, yeah, it wouldn't make sense because we don't make a 20. Unless you're talking about like number denomination, but even that is a little wonky, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think about it. But yeah, I don't see it. You could if you played around with it a little bit more, but I don't see it right now. Right now on the spot I don't see it. It's just plus 2 in the next column. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, but then yeah, you're right. It'd be the plus 20 in the next column. But then here you have to take away 19. Right? So then how do you take away 9 and you know what I mean? So if we did, let's say we did 40. Let's say we did 40. Or no, let's say we did 20. Let's do 20 plus 20. So I add 20, but now I have to take away 19. I have to take away 1, take away 9. I can't take away the 9. So I still need to take away 9 is minus the 10 plus the 1. What are we trying to do? Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm kind of confused. Let's say I have, let's try that. So 29 plus 1 plus the 1 is plus 20 minus 19. It's still, yeah, see, it still comes down to minus 19 minus 1 and then minus 9. Hi. Hey, welcome back. It makes it more complicated. Yeah. Yeah, if I do the 20, it would be more complicated. You know what? If I do the 20, it's just redundant, really. Because when you do minus 19, you still got to take away the 1, you got to take away the 9. Yeah. How is it going, Lusung Yu? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Anybody have any questions? Wow, 14,000 likes. We still have 11 people in there. Lu Sun Gu. Lu Sun Gu. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm doing great. Division? You want to do division? Okay, let's do some division. Let's do some division. We'll do some division. So, I got my labels. Okay, we'll do this. It's 9. Wow, on a Saturday, yeah? So you're taking the time to learn. You're taking the time to math on a Saturday? Come on. Oh, it's Friday? 9 a.m. Friday? Because it's 1:21 p.m. Friday afternoon for me. What? Okay. Same. Okay. 9, divide that by 2. I have my little thing. PM. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, okay, got it. That makes more sense now. Okay. So, my dividend and my divisor. Why do we do that? We need to label it because I'm getting tired of like trying to figure out which one's which. Yeah, no problem. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to find our starting point. To find our starting point, again, when we do multiplication, we were adding our digits. When we do division, we're going to subtract our digits. So 3 take away 1 is equal to 2. 3 take away 1 is equal to 2. 2 is our starting point. Why? Because we need to know where to put our answer. When we put our answer, we have 1, 2. That's what 2 means. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our dividend onto our abacus. So we have 1, 8, and then 9. So now the question is, who is bigger, divisor or dividend? Our divisor is 2, our dividend is 1. When we work with our abacus, when we work with our number, we're only looking at the one digit, we realize who is bigger. If the divisor is bigger, then we need to use 2 digits. We need to use these 2 columns because you cannot divide 2 into 1. You have to use 2 into 18. So 2 times what is equal to 18 or less. It's like working backwards. It's actually not working backwards. It's actually working forwards because this is what we do in mainstream math. In Abacus, we break it down into manageable chunks. Thank you. Did I go over what new math is? I kind of did. 9. So I'm going to put 9 here. And I take away 18. Take away 1. Take away 8. So now what do? I compare. The 9, this is my 9. So I have my 9 here. Let me rewrite it. I have 9 is my dividend. And my divisor is 2. Divisor is 2, my dividend's 9. Who is bigger? My dividend is bigger. My dividend's bigger because we did 18, right? 18, 9. So this is like long division. So now the question is how many times does 2 go into 9? I'm sorry, who is bigger? Who is bigger? My dividend is bigger. My dividend is bigger, so I'm going to skip one column. This is the column I'm going to skip. I'm going to skip one column. This is something that we have to know. So we can skip one column, and the question is 2 times what is equal to 9 or less? 2 times 4 is equal to 8. So I take away 8. Oh, there's not enough room. Okay, so we're back to here. Take away 8, and we have 4. We have a decimal. Why? Because we have a 1, and we know how to do 10. But again, we're going to compare 1 or 2. 2 is bigger, so we take 2 columns. So it's 2 times what is equal to 10 or less. 2 times 5, so I put the 5, and then take away the 10. So then my answer is 94.5. Yes. Make sense? Okay. Elf. Did I talk about it? Let me see. I believe I did. And that was with this part. Oh yeah, that's with this part. This part is new math. So what they do is they break it out. No. Okay. Hold on, Dandelion. So this part here, they break it out. But the difference between new math and abacus math is new math writes it out. They write out every step. But abacus, we don't need to write it out. We just do it in manageable chunks. Does that make sense, Elf? All right. Okay. Yeah. So that's new math. New math is really a written form of abacus. All right. So dandelion, we're back to here. We're back to here. We have, let me use a different color. Yeah, right? Crazy. So what it is new math is actually abacus. But nobody knows how to use the abacus, so nobody knows to use it. But you guys, we need a new form of calculators. You guys are going to be the ones that are going to learn abacus, and then you're going to tell the rest of the world. All right, dandelion. We have 189, divide that by 2. Right? A new form of calculators. This is not new. That's the funny part about it, right? That's the funny part about it. Abacus is not new. Abacus has been around for centuries. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our divisor and our dividend. So we have our divisor and our dividend. Let me see. I'm trying to make this work better. Okay. We have our divisor and our dividend. That's my labels. So the first thing we need to do, honestly, the new math shows me a better way to organize my abacus. That's the funny part. That's the funny part about it. All right. So where are we going to put our abacus? Where are we going to put our answer? We have 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3, or 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So my 2 is my second column. Because I'm going to start with my answer here, I'm going to add my dividend. I'm going to add my dividend. I have my 1, 8, and then 9. All right, so after that, now I compare. Who is bigger? I have, let's see, who is bigger? If I rewrote it, it'd be 2, 1, 8, 9. So who is bigger? Maybe I should do it this way. 1 or 2? Which one's bigger? So when I write it, the 2 is bigger. If the 2 is bigger, I'm going to use these 2 columns because the 2 is bigger. Does that make sense? My S is 2. My E is 1. So then we do this. Because my divisor is bigger, I take 2 columns. What did the first abacus look like? It looked like a bunch of pebbles. That's the thing. It was just a bunch of pebbles, and they just used pebbles to keep track of the numbers. That's it. And then after that, it was like a slate with movable pebbles. So the question here is 2 times what is equal to 18 or less? 2 times 9. So we have 9, and we take away 18. So we have 9, and we take away 18. It's 0. So it's 0. Now what do? Well, we still have a dividend, right? We still have a dividend. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down to here. Now we compare. Who is bigger? Our divisor or our dividend? Our divisor is bigger, so we have enough. We have enough to take away. We have enough to 18. Minus 18, yeah, that's what it is. That's what this is. So 18 minus 18 is equal to 0. Thank you. So now, but we still have a dividend. We still have dividend, so we bring it down. So when we bring it down, we compare 2 and 9. Who is bigger, 2 or 9? 9's bigger. So because 2 can go into 9, we just use the one column. But in Abacus, we need to skip this column. So because we have enough, we skip one column and go back here. So the question is 2 times what is equal to 9 or less? So 2 times 4 is equal to 8. I add my 4 and I take away 8. So I have my 4. I have one bead left. So you can either do a remaining or you can do a decimal. But notice now we compare again. Why are you at the right side of the dot? Because that is where I put my dividends, and I do my subtraction. So it doesn't matter. This helps me place my answer. That's why. So I look at it again. Which one's bigger, divisor or my dividend? My dividend is 1. So my dividend is smaller. I need to bring down the 0 because there's a 0 here. Pretend there's a 0, right? So we bring down the 0 to make it 10. So then we could say 2 times what is equal to 10 or less? 2 times 5 is equal to 10. And that's it. Okay. Does that make sense? So Rabina, the reason why I am on this side is because I have my dividends, and my dividends helps me understand my place value when I put the answers. That's why. But don't forget, I'm also here because we're now doing, yes, Alf, 94.5. We're doing division, so it kind of flexes the rules a little bit. Yeah. It's just reading and understanding is so cool. Yeah. Reading it makes sense, right? And I use when my kid has a problem with his math questions and he's in 6th grade, I tell him to break out his abacus so we could see it and it makes more sense to him. So, okay. Does that make sense, Dandelion? Did I take it? Is it okay now? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I do enjoy having these conversations because I'm trying to formulate like how to make my workbook better. Putting labels and stuff. Hey, old limey. Make sense? Woo! There's still 8 people in the room. You guys are crazy. I didn't get it, but I'll keep trying. Okay. Well, I think the difference is now we have to deal with the decimals. So you have the question, 189 divided by 2. Same. Okay. But don't forget, this is also math at like level 7, right? So what you did, I'm not discounting you. What I'm saying is don't forget, you just learned abacus. Like I've been doing abacus for 20 plus years. What about multiplication? We can multiply. But what I'm saying is don't forget, I mean, I've been doing abacus for 20 years, right? It took me a while to get to here. You're just learning it. Like maybe you just started with me a few minutes ago, a couple of lives ago. So give yourself some grace. It gets complicated. And if you don't have an understanding, like even how to move the beads. So multiplication. Yeah, we could do multiplication. Just like here, we did multiplication. So again, we find our starting point. How do we know? 1, 2, 3. So we do 1, 2, 3. 7 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. So we add the 20. We add the 1. I don't say 7 times 30. We don't do this math. We do this math. This is more manageable because our times table is here, right? Our times table, our multiplication table is 7 times 3. Our multiplication table is not 30 times 7, right? So when we do it, we add 21. And then after that, we do 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28, right? 7 times 4 is 28. So I add my 2, and then I add my 8, like that. That's all I'm doing. I'm adding 8. That's it. So my answer is 238. Okay. Okay. I've been on for a little bit, and I'm going to go have some lunch, take a little break, work on my workbook. I'm going to end this live. If there's any other burning questions, let me know. If not, catch me in the next live with your burning question. But yeah, I'm starting to... Hey, Ace! Welcome back. I was just about to sign off, actually. Yeah. Is there any other questions? I'll probably be on later tonight. Trying to figure out how to make more new math. Hello! Have a good day. Yeah, I've been on. Oh, have a good night from... Oh, yay! Oh, Denmark. That's crazy. That's pretty cool. Crazy for math. Ah, that's funny. It's 9. Yeah, Lady E, it's 9 p.m. Oh, okay. So Rabina and Lady E, are you guys in the same time zone? Whew, you guys. Crazy for math. Yeah, funny. Rabina. So it makes sense, right, Rabina? One question. Yes, Dandelion. Sure. What's up? What's up? Okay. Do I need to change my page? It's also, I gotta go to the bathroom. I've been drinking a lot. All right. What's the question? So yeah, okay, yeah. So here's some of the things I have to say. Simple. Oh, thank you so much for the heart. Thank you so much. Simple to use, easy to understand. Abacus is the gateway to complex math. What else? Popularize abacus. And abacus breaks down into manageable chunks. Yeah. What's the one question, Dandelion? Where do you put the dividend on the abacus? Oh, so when we did it, that's why we counted our starting point. And I probably did that too fast. So remember we had this, we took it away, right? 3 take away 1 is 2. So this is where we put our abacus, right? Our answer. We put our answer here. Then we put our dividend next to it. That's it. That's all we do. Because our dividend helps us keep track of our answer. So we just put it next to, so we have our answers here, we put our dividend next to it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Why? Because now we're utilizing our dividend to help us track our answer. That's why. Because when we do the comparison, when we do the comparison, dividend and the divisor, we use the dividend to help us figure out if we need to go back a column or to stay where we are. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good question. And I forget the small steps, but that's what it is. So when I do 2, this is where my answer is. My answer is going to go here. I go to the next column over to add my dividends. Yeah. Cool? Norway. Wow. You get, that's nuts. That's crazy. And Lady E, you're from Sweden, right? I have to try to remember these things. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there was another person, Poyo, I think is from Finland. Yeah, no problem, Daisy. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Daisy, for the heart. Let me know if there's any more questions. But yeah, we'll keep going. Like in my next lives, we'll keep going. Poland. Oh my gosh, you're from Poland, Ona? Ooh. Oh, there's another person from Poland too. And I know she was She was saying that Abacus is being introduced to. Oh, she was saying that Abacus was being introduced into school. So is it being introduced into school, which is really interesting? I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, have a good one. Have a good one, Daisy. I'll see you in my next live. Ona, is Abacus being introduced into school, like regular school? Not in Sweden. No, really? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Her daughter was doing Abacus, and her daughter was getting a little confused, but obviously it's about the teacher. And I was explaining it, and it made sense to the lady. But I don't know if the daughter did it yet. And so that was interesting. So I wonder if I don't know where in Poland she is, but she said she was in Poland, or was it Norway? No, I think she was in Poland. Yeah, I asked teacher. I don't know. Really? Wait. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if you don't know it, then that's fine. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I think the more eyes on it, the more easier it is. So, all right, I'm gonna end the live. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you again for joining me at such late hour, Lady E. I can't believe you're midnight, almost night mathing, night mathing. Ah, Lady, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining and all the questions. Thank you for the questions. Ah, you guys are crazy. All right. Thank you again, and I hope to see you again, Ona. And I will see you in the next live. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Have a good night. Have a good night.